Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hey, there we go. Welcome back to Unseen Twisted Truths. I'm co-host Henry in the studio tonight.
Hey folks, everybody in here?
Hey, we're all in here. Welcome. So, let's start off with a little bit of an introduction. Glad to have you into the show.
Unstable internet connection or Wi-Fi. I have an unstable connection, guys. You hear me?
Okay, we got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, me too, it seems. It looks like I'm having unstable. Maybe it's on your end. I don't know if it's telling me that there's unstable internet, but my stuff better be good because I pay a hell of a lot of money for it.
Yes. So, well, I'm hearing you loud and clear, Don. So, yeah. You're happy with it? We can start the interview.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, huh? That's why we're here tonight.
All right. My name is Donald Young. I am 40 years old. I'm a 40-year-old male, obviously. But male, but yeah. So I about 20 years ago joined the military. 22 years ago joined the Marine Corps. Got out of the Marine Corps. Came out, met a nice girl for a while. I had a child with her. Moved to Las Vegas. Lived there for a while, and then she went home and never came back. And I went loco about 20 years ago, and then after that blew by. He's growing. He's growing now.
Your sister right now.
Oh,
who am I speaking to? Oh, I can see. You're in the dark. Oh my! He popped up out of nowhere.
And it's so glad to have you. Sister, you can hang around.
Got some interesting feedback. Hello, Valora. Welcome to the studio.
Hi, Valora. I'm down.
I don't know if Valora can do it, but thank you for joining.
I see it. Hey. They're in motion. I could see them. They just left.
Anyway,
who are these people? Are these guests or are they?
I'm not 100% sure on that one. Someone popped on. I'm going to keep going with the interview as scheduled with you because you are our top interview. You are why we're here tonight. So, not sure about Valora, but thank you for joining. This is, I guess it's not a closed podcast. Anyway, you got out of the Marines, and then you came back home side here.
I came back to PA, and then we moved to Las Vegas with our child. He was about 2 years old at the time. He's grown now, but yeah. So that was my first child with my first mother of my child, and we did not get married or anything. I never been married. I've been single. Um, I was never really thought about that part of things, and also I always vowed to marry once, so I always wanted to make sure that I was 100% positively, absolutely sure that this was the person that was going to be, with me forever and never until I die. So that was that. But my dad, my father, and here's Flora again. I'm going to continue. All right, let's go back a little farther. My father was like a very smart guy. Like he started from the bottom of an insurance company called Gum Insurance when I was a little boy. He's now the vice president or president of an insurance company out in Texas. He's a top dog, but he works away from the mailroom up, and I watched him do it. So I learned a lot watching him do that. He's always made sure we went on vacation every year. He always made sure that we were good, and my mom and my dad were opposite. Like they were like at that time in love, and it was great. But they separated when I was about 10 years old. But what I'm saying is, he raised me to be a gentleman. He raised me to be to tend to people the way I would like to be tended to, or to treat people as I'd like to be treated. He taught me how to be nice to girls. Like I was always like a little heartthrob. I was an athlete, major athlete. I played every sport you could think of except for basketball. I was just never good at it. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So there was no Iverson in me. So every other sport I touched, and track definitely, and I was fast. And then after that, I was like, where can I continue to be like this physical fitness guy? So I went to the Marine Corps. Joined infantry. I actually scored 88 on the ASVAB. Yeah, I scored an 88 on the ASVAB, which is really high. But I only needed a 33 to go in the infantry, so it was crazy. So being that I did that, which was a dummy move, because right now I could be like an air traffic controller or do something else with my life. This sounds boring to me, but hey, you make 90 to 100 grand a year to start, doing that kind of job, and you end up making 120. But I never saw 100 grand as a lot of money in my eyes. I always had a much higher dream, like a much more cheap. Like I wanted to always go farther than that. Like I didn't want to limit myself to how much I could make. I never wanted to work for anybody, so I started becoming an entrepreneur, and it started with a cleaning company called Sparkle Cleaning Services. From there, that lasted a while. That went freaking well, actually. That went pretty good. We ended up having major corporations under us, and that was pretty cool. I was really good at it, and I also made a lot of mistakes. But as I'm making these mistakes, the screen is all over the place. So as I'm making these mistakes, there was a lot of learning to do. So all those mistakes cost me the ability to want to even do that business. Cleaning sucked because you could never duplicate yourself to do. So for all you guys that want to be a cleaning company in the future, if you ever think to do that, the hardest part about that business is having people that work for you care about your business as much as you do, and doing the same quality work that you did when you first went in before you hired 2 people to go in and continue doing the work. As it de-escalates the quality of the work, you get complaints, you get phone calls. Now you got 5 different places calling you, and you can't be in the same place at once. I learned so much from that, and I stayed away from it. So I started to study ways of creating revenue with being an entrepreneur and starting a business that had a low barrier to entry, but a high, almost no ceiling cap on it. You know what I mean? There's no limit to how much you can make because your market stretches from here across the world. And there's not a lot of businesses entrepreneurs can do as a small business to accomplish that. What that means is a landscaper, for instance, So say a landscaper opens a company out here where I'm at. I'm in there. There's nothing but grass out here, okay, and fields. So it's great, but guess what? There's 1,000 landscapers. So it's saturated. You become a landscaper, you're going to be fighting for that piece of property that somebody already had for the last 10 years or something like that. They're already spoken for. There's a cap there. There's no way you're going to get bigger than a certain amount of money. There's going to be a cap to where you can't make much. You can't make as much as you want to. You're never going to be rich doing that in my eyes. I don't care who you are. Now, there's companies out there that got lucky to start a franchise and got lucky, or maybe they just did it the right way. They took the right processes. But you're only going to get so many franchises to go across the globe, and none of them are. Ain't no landscaping company leaving the country, first of all. So once again, there was a cap. So I'm thinking online. So online, your audience is whoever the hell you want it to be, and you can sell in whatever country you want. So I started doing drop shipping and stuff like that because it seemed so cool and it was so real. But I was a little late because that was also saturated. So I started selling drones and all kinds. Yeah, it's just saturated. Affiliate marketing, saturated. I mean, it's all saturated. People are saying they're making money doing it. They are, but there's a cap. I don't like caps. I don't like to be limited to how much I can make. I want to go for the. I don't want to go for the. I'm shooting past the moon, and that's where I'm at with it. And I found I actually I'm gonna just skip ahead to today. So 2 years ago, I was at a shelter volunteering in Philadelphia, and it was crazy. But that day, a day came where I was there, and a man came in with a weapon and another weapon, and he was going to hurt a 24-year-old girl, and I was in the middle of it, so I caught the heat. So I am wearing a hernia belt right now. I have surgery appointment in 2 days. I'm supposed to get a surgery.
My goodness.
The surgery. Yeah, the surgery is a 35-65 chance of success rate. So 65 in my favor. So like I said, I've been trying to map this thing out for the longest. And now that the surgery is finally here, which is not tomorrow, it's not in 2 days. That's my pre-op. After the pre-op, they're going to schedule the official surgery within 30 to 60 days. And
can I back you up a little bit to the incident, if you don't mind me asking, of course? Did you put yourself in the line of fire, Homeland, here to protect somebody?
She was the director of the building, and they kicked him out. So I'm a volunteer, and she dedicates her life. This 24-year-old girl dedicates her life to helping these people. And I was thinking to myself, we need her, we kind of need her for this to work because she cared that much.
Yeah.
Some people just didn't give a shit. They were there for the 9 to 5, and she wasn't. She was there to give and to humbly, she sacrificed herself. She's young. And I was like, you know what? I'm 40. I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? So I tried to step in the middle of the thing, and maybe it wouldn't escalate, but it definitely ended me right there that day. I have I got hit 7 times, but 5 times with a blade, and you cut out my liver, and my intestines were on the street, and I mean it was pretty vulgar. If I showed this to you, you'd be like, "What the hell?" So it's pretty bad, but yeah. But I am wearing a strap on my belly. It has to hold me in. So if you guys can see, I have to wear this thing around me until it holds my insides in. And I've been wearing it for 2 years, and I have a bunch of them, and I just swap them out every day for a new one. And it hurts every time I take it off. So I've been in pain for the last 2 years. I don't
That's
take pain
incredibly
meds.
upstanding of you. That's incredibly upstanding of you, Don. I'm not going to call you any kind of names that they typically call people, but man, that's something to pay attention. That's really incredible. Good for you, man.
Yeah, they call me the walking miracle at Temple Health because they said I should not be here talking to you or doing anything or walking to this moment. I shouldn't be walking. They told me I wasn't going to walk. They told me I wasn't going to be. They told my family when I was sitting there next to the hospital bed sleep. I actually have a video I can send you and show you if you want to put it on the screen. It's I can send it to. I would go to her email. That's the only place I can send it, or I can send it to your Facebook. I'll send it to you. I am actually created. It's a little. I don't know if you could put it on the screen, but it'll show you what happened to me that day. Well, in the hospital, it's actually pretty freaking crazy. I'll send it to you right now on a thing, just so you can get an idea. And I'm creating this video for my introduction video on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, guys, I am also a musician. As you look behind me on the wall, it looks like I'm running an illegal prostitution ring, but I am not. It is actually my music that I wrote. It's actually music that I write. All right, so this is the craziest part. This isn't about music, guys. It's not what this talk is about. So we're going to stay on subject as Microgreens. At some point, we're going to get to that point because there's a point.
Understood. Yeah. No, you can talk about you can talk about those interconnected ideals and things that make you work. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm sending you this video real quick so you have it, and you're going to see my story in that video. It's to that song, "You Make Me a Believer," and here it is. I just sent it to you. Okay. Oh, I just sent you 2 things on accident. The other one was my college assignment details. Don't worry about that one. But you can see the little video clip there. Yeah. So that video clip shows you me in the hospital, me flatlining. It shows you all that in the song. And it's just a little 1 minute clip, 1.5 minute clip of me quickly kind of showing you guys. I can show you here if you want. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You want to see it? Try it.
Why? You know what? Yeah, it'll be easier for you to play it here.
Yeah. Go ahead, play it from your side because I can't. Yeah, I can. But yeah, and plus you get the audio and everything. So I'm creating this video. It's still got the on your end.
I'll tell you what. We can post it to the comments. Everyone's going to be absolutely psyched to hear that. But let's most certainly stay on track. I want to hear more about your business and what led to that, and of course you as an artist and entrepreneur. Yeah.
Okay. So I was told I was never going to walk again. So I for 3 months was in a coma. And then, well, maybe a little less. It was a little less than that. It was less than that. And I was in a coma, and I was in Temple Hospital in ICU. And then I got moved to the trauma. It was in trauma, and then I got moved to the ICU because they told my family I was going to die there. They just were waiting. It was just a matter of time. My body was shutting down. My organs were shutting down, and I didn't have a liver anymore. But I have a little piece of it left, but they said it's the one that regenerates, so not a bad thing, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. So at least the one that got severed was the one, but there's also a major artery, 5 in your body, but there's also a major artery in your liver that travels through there in the aorta, and the aorta was split completely in the middle, in half, and they had to give me 2 human bodies worth of blood. 2.5 human bodies worth of blood worth of transfusions to keep me alive, to stitch it up until they could get the artery back intact. And it was actually almost an impossible operation, which became possible because the day that it happened, this is crazy. The day that it happened, the day that I got hurt was the day they were having a big surgery seminar. And every major surgeon, every best surgeon in the country was there, which that specific day, it was just weird. It's quick. It's crazy, right? So yeah, I'm gonna need that vape, guys. Jalen, bring it to me. Yeah, so I'll toss it over if you need it. Yeah, so right here, no, come to the screen. So that day that happened, and they actually called the best of the best to come off that seminar and strap up in their suit and ties and stitch me up, which is crazy. So I survived being done by the best. Amy Goldberg was her name, and then Jessica Beard at Temple Hospital. Amazing people. And she's going to be doing the surgery that I'm going to be getting scheduled.
You have people rooting for you in the comments, Don, just so you know. I didn't want to cut you off. You are a very fast man, and I understand that. I got to be respectful for that, which is good, and I understand why you got into business. But you got people, Danny Holmes in the comments, thank you for your service. Share this live. You got people listening to this. So that's really it's really something. I just want to let you know that.
I can't see any. I don't have that on my screen. I have them in full screen. Should I go to minimize it or something, or? I don't see anything.
I'm not. Oh, I do little loopholes around everything. I got my laptop next to me.
it says so I watch chat here, and it says show chat.
Okay, yeah, we got chat.
Maybe it'll show up. There you go. I see comments. Okay, there you are.
There you go.
Wow, there you guys are. I'm sorry. I honestly didn't see that because I was in full screen, so that wasn't on my screen. I apologize, folks.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'm not.
No, we got people rooting for you. It's really awesome.
So yeah, I had to. Please. So being that my liver was severed, so we're gonna get to the nooks, and we'll get to the meat and potatoes, guys. But if you want to know my story, like it's there. Like you'll find me on TikTok. It's my artist name though, and we'll get to that later. But right now, on my Facebook, I usually actually was they told me I was never gonna walk in. So when I'm like in my mind trying to figure out I'm never going to walk again, right? In my mind, they're telling me this, but I said, F that, I'm going to figure it out. You know what I mean? But it took me 9 months to figure it out. I tried using every ounce of my brain and my mind and the nerves in my body to figure out how to get something to move. I could move my upper half, but my lower half was not moving. So I couldn't figure it out. Well, one day, I guess 9 months later, I moved my toe. But guess what? I tried to move I tried to move a different part of my body and my foot moved. I am completely wired different than you guys. I am wired in such a way that I don't use the normal part I would normally use to move a part that I want to move. I had to figure it out. It's freakishly weird. So I am a complete cyborg, if you will. So in that video, you'll see I had wires coming out of my neck, out of my face, out of my chest, out of my stomach. I mean, there was I looked like something from Mortal Kombat. It was insanity. and it's in that video that
I will
sent
be,
you, but you guys can't see.
I will most certainly be sharing that video, Don, if I can. I am even worse with technology than Kimberly, and she put me here in the limelight, and I will do the absolute damnedest. But I can't wait to watch this video.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody else can wait either. It's going to be it's a miracle, and we're glad you're. I know it's a hard deal, but we're glad you're around to tell this story.
My story now made me an enabler of successors. Even though I haven't gotten the success that I want personally for me, I have not reached my achievements or my goals or my long-term goals. I still am on the path to it. And the microgreens is where it began. So in that coma, came out of it, couldn't walk. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit here and be useless. I'm like, what can I do from home? So I looked up online. I looked for businesses that you could do from your bed on a computer, any way to make money as possible. And then I always loved agriculture. I always loved the thought of farming, but I thought there was like, you can't farm and make money anymore because your crops getting damaged by animals, by pests, by chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, deer. I mean, bugs. You're losing 75% of your crop. 70% of your crop. So I'm like, where could you do farming and do good with it? And then I discovered indoor farming of just like herbs and spices. And then I discovered microgreens. Now, microgreens is where it all began. I am actually currently not doing them as big as I was. And there's a reason why, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll show you why in a minute. So another entity came along. So I'm seeing all these messages. I don't know if they're live or
this is all live. Kimberly, phone's gonna die. I need you to end the live.
It says join the chat. Are these chats on YouTube or it says join the live YouTube chat? Is that where it's asking me to join or I don't know. I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah, I am only messing with Facebook right now.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone because you know what? I'll click the one button. I'm quick to click buttons.
I like to periodically relay what is going on in the Facebook comments, which is what I'm primarily following. Of course, our number one lady here, Kimberly, has left me to the wolves of technology, and I am here to fend for myself. But you know what? I'm happy with this. Everybody's welcome. Please.
It's too bad we can't now. Okay, so what can I do from a bed to create income or revenue? And I discovered microgreens. So I fell in love with them as soon as I seen what they were. And I watched some of the greats. I mean, David Barkard. It's been a while since I even said their names. The Urban Farmer. What's his name? Jeez. I mean, that was in 2022, guys. That was in 2023, excuse me. And I started a microgreens business called Nice Farms, NYCE. It's on my Facebook page on Don Young. Don Young, at your name on my screen is the name of my profile, and then you'll see attached that is Nice Farms. You'll see how I created my own business, how it grew, and you'll see kind of down the scroll that you'll see that I created commercials, ads using Canva, Movavi. I started learning how to do all this stuff, and now I became a marketing expert. Like I am a marketing expert when it comes to marketing and social media marketing, running ad sets and paying for ad sets to run and market your company. And actually, that's one of my long-term goals. We'll get to that too. But back to the microgreens.
You are always answering
every course.
I was going to say, you are always answering my questions before I even ask them. I started to keep up with you with social media marketing and then laying in bed. I just wanted to stop and say, so we got to microgreens.
Yes.
You most certainly have a reason to want to put healthy things into your body. And, obviously you like agriculture and you wanted to do something that could be done remotely. So that's what I was interested in, is how these microgreens affected you with your situation, your predicament, and how that has been. And I know I didn't want to cut you off, but I do want to keep asking questions and keep it open.
Please.
We still got
Please, and we can continue the story as we go. Answer some questions, get us caught up, and then we'll move ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Urban Farmer, and you started following these guys and learning about these microgreens. One of my questions was, why do you do it? Which is what you were leading into. I mean, I didn't mean to stop you there, but yeah, let's delve more into it.
So in me being dead, I died 4 times on the table in that hospital. And when I died 4 times, something happened to me. I lost all the blood in my body, which actually resulted in brain damage because your brain needs oxygen through the blood cells that travel through. So I wasn't getting them for the longest. and it caused some brain damage. Now, they didn't specifically say that on my paperwork, but I know something happened to me. But with that became a gift. A gift came out of that. There's a lot of gifts that came out of that. And it's like, when I say a gift, I came back with something different. And I have the ability to know kind of like where my map is going to go, and like, and how, like, and all the obstacles pop up in my head and things pop up in my head as far as ideas. I am so creative now. My creativity is to a being, guys. It's at 1,000. My creativity, if it's something you can't think of, I will think of it like that. Like, it's just like that. That's really quick. Probably why I'm answering your questions before you ask them. So
this is predominantly after the incident. I know, I'm sure you've always been a very clever man, a very clever person, but you'd say that spiked that.
That spiked it. Yeah, that spiked my creativity. Almost like the inner child in me came back out to where I could use that same imagination that a child would have, but tell it into the business aspect of the thing, the knowledge that I had. So I was able to put the two together and able to create something very, very quickly with absolutely nothing. And I did. So I ended up getting my first rack. So a rack consists of a Microgreens. So remember now, I couldn't walk yet.
Right.
I studied every course while I was bedridden. I studied every course, watched every class, watched every YouTube video over and over and over. Never grew a microgreen in my life at that point. But when I got my first rack and it came in the mail, and that day that I got out of bed, it was in a box forever. Never knew if I was going to ever open it. So I ended up putting my feet on the floor one day and trying to stand up and fell over. But I tried that for a while. That took a while too. I didn't realize that, you guys, what happened to me with that, the reason I started the microgreens, the ultimate reason was I realized how fragile and how powerful the human body and the human brain is. So I didn't realize the little things. I now see a honeybee. I think of why the honeybee does what it does. What's its purpose? Its purpose is to serve the hive and its queen, but they live to die. They live and die serving their purpose. So I had to figure out what my purpose was. And then I realized I wanted to help people that day at that homeless shelter, right? So I'm like, I still want to help people even after that happened. I still want to help people, and I can't even help myself. So I was like, how can I help people? So people that are obese, people that have very, very bad health, people that don't eat healthy, people that don't. Microgreens are by far the healthiest food on the planet. When I tell you there's nothing healthier, when I tell you that that there's pharmaceuticals that don't want you to know about microgreens, because they are 40 times more potent than some medications that you can take. They have the ability to heal anything in your body, depending on the strand, the strand that you're growing. When I say strand, it's not like weed, guys. We're talking about radish. We're talking about broccoli. We're talking about different families. We're talking about kohlrabi, arugula, mustard, cabbage. I mean, all the things you can grow. You can grow any micro. A micro is basically the baby version of anything you can grow. Except, I want you to take this little example. Take a broccoli seed. It only takes about 2 to 3 broccoli seeds to grow a head of broccoli now. Now, we eat broccoli for what we call our healthy nutrients. The fact of the matter is, a head of broccoli only has 8% of its nutrients after it's grown, because the seed actually has all the nutrients on a microscopic level in the seed. The seed, when it pops and it sprouts, that sprout is now the and you notice, in the past, people were eating sprouts back in the 90s and 80s. They were started eating sprouts. Yeah. The problem with sprouts are, now the difference between a sprout and a microgreen, first of all, is a sprout is not to its cotyledon leaf. The cotyledon leaf is when it becomes a micro. When you can cut it from the seed, a sprout is attached to the seed. Well, what was happening is people were getting E. coli and salmonella and shit, and we couldn't figure out why. It turns out inside the seed, it was containing moisture and bacteria, and the bacteria is getting trapped inside the seed, and you're consuming it on a large scale. I mean, by the thousands, you're consuming these seeds, and they're all literally killing you. Well, killing your immune system and making you very sick. So microgreens do not attach to the seed. We have to detach them. They go to about 3 to 4. So you can actually grow, man, 50 grand Danny Holmes. My man, 50 grand Danny. I don't know what that's about. So so A microgreen is completely safe. You can get molding in the growing process, but there's a lot of ways that you have to know. And anybody has questions about microgreens, you're welcome to reach out to me on a whole different. Well, at the end, make sure you guys have a way to, if you're interested.
I was going to ask you if you had some information that people can follow, because it certainly is a healthy practice, and I think anyone can just about do the indoor growing. What are some realities and truths about starting microgreens? There is a lot of speculation that I see on the internet that you can make $5,000 overnight, and there's all this stuff around it. What is the reality? I can tell you're very much into this craft.
I never heard anybody say overnight. If they say overnight, they're lying, because you can't grow anything overnight. It does only take a week. It only does take a week. In 1 week, a $500 setup will get you about $2,000. No, a $500 setup will make you $500 in revenue a week off of one rack, which is 5-level wire rack, 5 tiers. Okay, you put 4 trays, which is 10 by 20 trays on them shelves. Now there's going to be 2 different kind of trays, one with holes, one without holes. You take the one with holes and put it inside the one without holes, obviously, because when you water it, you don't want the water to come out the bottom. So the one without holes goes inside the one with holes. The one with holes goes inside the one without holes, and then they sit there and underneath a light. The lights are easy to get. I can tell you where to get your lights for a very low price. There's a company called Generation. They have 4-foot lights, called the best ones on the market that I like. And Japan and China are coming out with even better lights, but you got to go overseas. It takes like a year to get it. You know what I mean? But if you want to get one here, it's called a oh boy, I haven't touched them for so long. They're called holy crap. We'll get to the name of it. Give me a minute. Wow, sure. I haven't opened a box for one. I haven't opened a box. Sun Blasters. They're called Sun Blasters. The Sun Blasters T6 and T59s are the ones that have all of the fluorescence that the sun gives off in order for a plant to grow. I mean, your plants will grow fast. So the process of growing micros we'll get into later. But if you are interested in micros, yes, at a $500 setup, you need 20 trays, actually 40, because you want to be able to do 2 cycles. You can actually make $1,000 a week, believe it or not. I just thought about that. If you cycle it right, because they only have to be under lights for 16 hours. You can actually split the day in half and do a 12-hour cycle, 12 and 12, and grow 20 under lights, take them out, and then put 20 more under lights at night and just leave your lights running constantly. But in general, I get a timer, let my trays that are currently on the rack sit for the 12 to 16 hours, and the timer shuts all the lights off in one shot. You can get the timer at Home Depot. It's just like a plug in the outlet, and then you plug one plug that's connected to all the lights, which all connect to each other, believe it or not, rack to rack, if you line them up right. But
what you're describing I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What you're describing sounds like quite a bit of actual work. It is most certainly an indoor farming operation. It's not just something that you can kind of half-ass exactly.
No, you have to. No, what? So the longest process is making the trays. That means putting the tray inside the tray, putting the soil or whatever grow medium you're using. People use cocoa coir, cocoa peat. They use water if you want to use very nutrient-rich water, and a lot of people use which is a soil called I actually, guys, let me tell you right now, I turned the microgreens off currently because I have a whole different business model now. It's going to be way bigger than just growing microgreens. It's huge. I will tell you about it in a minute. It's Smoothie Infusions. I started a franchise smoothie bar. I'm just waiting for some paperwork. So I'm going to open 3 locations and then let it grow from there. But I'm going to be funding people to open these stores so they can create their own success growing and selling smoothies while not growing the fruit. We're going to get the fruit from suppliers and from farms, local farms, just like McDonald's gets their potatoes from local farms. Guys, and the tomatoes and lettuce. So I see this being bigger than McDonald's in the long run because it's a healthy lifestyle. Here you go. This is run down the list. Microgreens battles diabetes. It increases gut health. It increases blood flow. It increases your memory bank. It increases your eyesight. It grows your hair and nails. It clears your skin. It does everything that your body could possibly need. Whatever variety you're growing, it all serves a purpose. Radish cleans you out. It's very spicy though, very spicy. The micros, they're tiny little things. They're spicy as hell, and they're spicier than a radish by far, and they're good. And the flavor is so pungent. You can't put your finger on it. Each micro tastes like something. They each have their own flavor. They each have their own color. But me, I was focusing on the health niche of micros, and I wasn't making that much money because I had to go to farmers markets, and I had to, you got to look at your local farmers markets. Then you have to get into the farmers market. Then you have to attend. You only attend once a week, but I was making $300 to $500 in a quick 4-hour period that fast. I mean, they were selling out like hotcakes, and as they were coming back, I had people like coming and requesting. So then I started a delivery service. I started doing home deliveries, which was a business model made up by one of the growers on YouTube. And that was I think it was the Urban Farmer. The thing about that is it's not going to be possible without a large group of people working for you, because you can't deliver but so much and get so much done in a single day. You'd have to spread out the deliveries. Now it's going to interfere with your growth cycles. Now, what do? Do you cut them and put them in the fridge? Microgreens are good in the fridge for 3 to 4 weeks. I can cut a crop and have it in the fridge for 3 to 4 weeks, but I will never sell that. I would never sell a product that's not more than a few days from harvest. Harvest is when you cut the micros from the tray, and that tray is actually leftover medium. Now that medium can be reused if you learn how to what's the compost. If you can compost, guys, if you learn to compost, I mean, there's a lot of money in this business because that's one less expense. Let me tell you about microgreens. It cost me about $3 to $4 to make that tray. I make $45 per tray, maybe $35 if I want to be nice. But for restaurants, yeah. I mean, we're talking about a 4,000% profit margin. It's ridiculous. So you can afford to sacrifice money. Huh?
What can't you grow as a microgreen?
You can grow cantaloupe even. So you can't, but you won't grow it to a cantaloupe. You just go as a sprout. A cantaloupe sprout has all the nutrients the cantaloupe has. Yes.
Sure.
What can't you grow?
It's not the fruit.
You can't grow. You can't grow watermelon. You can't grow anything that goes underground. You can't grow mushrooms on a microgreen system. You can't grow
tubers.
You don't grow. You can even grow. I mean, there's a lot of micros that you wouldn't believe it. I mean, there's cucumber. There's everything. I mean, there's a lot of shit you can't grow as a micro. And the only thing is the price range, like carrots, super expensive. For some reason, they're expensive. The ones that you want for restaurants are very expensive. Bull's blood beets. Okay. You got bull's blood beets. It is look at my shirt. It is redder and pinker than my shirt. It is bright fluorescent pink. That's the color of the micro. Chefs particularly love this micro because of its color. And you can take a dish and make it very, very appealing to the eye with colorful micros and garnish on it. All they do is sprinkle a little bit on each plate. So they get a lot for their money, believe it or not. They can spread them out a long way. I went to every casino, every restaurant when I started learning about restaurants. And that's where the money is, guys. The money's in restaurants. And where I'm at, I'm in King of Prussia. I'm outside Philadelphia. So I'm in King of Prussia, Doylestown. I mean, all these places in here where I'm talking about there's a LA Fitness and a Planet Fitness all within reach of each other. So I was going to set up shop in between all those locations, but there was no point in paying a bunch of rent. So now I'm thinking, I don't want to deliver. I don't need a physical location to have people come to. There's no need for that. There's no need for that expense. You can do this right out of your bedroom, a spare bedroom. You can do it out of your basement. Now, the problem with basements, if it's not a finished basement and you have a lot of moisture and heat and it's not, is you can't control the environment, it won't work. Because you'll get mold instantly. You'll get instant mold. Micros are very, 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 very sensitive to heat and very sensitive to moisture. So if it's hot and moist, you're going to get your whole crop. Yeah, your whole crop is going to mold. I guarantee it. You have to keep the temperature between 78 and 82. I'm tripping. Yeah, no, 78 and 82. No, I'm tripping. I am tripping. 68 and 74. I got to think about this, guys. I honestly, I've been doing it so long, I don't even pay attention to that. I just know. So here's the rule of thumb.
You are throwing a lot of information at people. You are definitely throwing a lot of information at us.
Yeah. So here's the rule of thumb, guys. Microgreens, if you're interested in microgreens, the way you keep your microgreens healthy and strong is to know if you're in a room and you're hot, it's hot. If you're in a room and it's cold, it's cold. If you're in a room and you're comfortable, it's comfortable. Really simple. If you're comfortable in that room that they're growing in, it's perfectly fine. If you feel like you can smell black mold or that kind of smell that's not like good air, don't put them in there. And always have fans circulating the room that they're in. Always have fans just blowing all across that from both directions so that the wind constant is winds that are constant. You will not get mold on a most. There's a high chance you will not see a sink of mold. If you do see mold, it's a simple fix. You get a little bottle. You get pure hydrogen peroxide. Pure hydrogen peroxide. H2. Hydrogen peroxide. All right, so it's pure, whatever it's called, hydrogen, so whatever. So what you do is you take that, you water it down. You water the water ratio to chemical ratio. This stuff's actually really potent. It's a peroxide that will burn your skin off your hand. It's that powerful. So you gotta be very careful. Yeah, it burns the hell out of you immediately. It's like an acid. But that acid is okay to put on the plants, and you're not putting any chemical, any herbicide, because it actually evaporates and there's nothing on it. So it's completely safe for the plants. A lot of people try using bleach. You don't want to do that. You don't even want to wash your trays with bleach. You want to wash your trays after maybe 4 weeks of use because you don't want bacteria build up on those. Bacteria is a cesspool to microgreens because you have wet soil sitting underneath of them. So there's a lot of things with microgreens that you have to tell. But listen, it's not that hard to keep up with once you know what you're doing. I would recommend you studying a little bit before you touch this industry.
Right. Let me back you up and say, absolutely, you got to study this, and this is a science. It's an absolute science. You got to know your ups and downs. You said earlier a good rule of thumb is that if the room feels comfortable for a human, then most likely that's going to give you a good idea of how your environment's going to feel for your plants. That's a good way to base it on. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. But we lost audio on you, Don. Got to unmute your mic. Should be on the left-hand side of the taskbar at the bottom. Little microphone symbol with a slashy through it. There it is.
I don't know why I didn't even click it the first time. I don't know what happened. I think I just plugged the device into the computer, and what was I saying? So okay, so the longest process in microgreens, it actually only requires. So say you got a 5-rack setup, you're only doing a couple hours of work every week, and maybe like 6. The longest part of the process is planting the trays and putting them on the racks. Once you plant the trays and put them on the racks, you're good for a day or two. That's the germination process. The germination process, believe it or not, you have to buy these 15-pound pavers at Home Depot or wherever you get them from. 15-pound pavers. It's just a concrete slab, and it sits on top of the tray. This tray is going to throw that brick on the ground. The micros literally are so powerful. They're so strong. They are so strong. They lift it up and throw it off. If you don't get to them in time, they will be on the floor. The brick will leave a hole in your floor. So if you have a wood floor, I would recommend growing on that. Yeah, nature's unbelievable. These little seeds, all right, they all have a specific measurement that you want to put on each tray, depending on the variety, like I said. So if it's broccoli, you want to do 1 gram, 1 little gram of seed goes on that tray, and you're going to get a full-grown tray. I wish he could show you pictures because they're in his feed, but I can't really. I wish I could show you a full tray of micros. But yeah,
we have a comment I got to pop up in here real quick. Matt Withers says, so what's the time frame on seeing lucrative income from starting out where a beginner would start? And I would ask too if this is a good side gig.
Okay, so let's put it like this: $500 will get you a rack for $100 on. I always get the black racks. I don't know why. I am a uniform person. When somebody comes to my farm, I want them to look at it and be like, wow, this is really nice. And it's really nice setup, and it looks really. I know people that have silver, black bandages on their shit, like spray paint. It looks tacky. It just doesn't look good. You know what I mean? You want to keep a uniform set. If you're going to be a business, be a business. Keep everything the same, because if you ever wanted to grow your company, you would want somebody to do the same thing that you're doing and continue spreading it farther and farther as it goes. And people will know you for that specific uniformity. You want to stand out. You want to be like every McDonald's sells the same cheeseburgers, the same fries, the same drinks, and the same milkshakes. You're gonna know what you're getting. I don't care which McDonald's you go to. When they come to your farm, they want to know what they're gonna know what they got from the last one. Oh shit, I'm in Maine. Let's go visit. There's some nice farms here. Okay, let's go check them out. And it's it's a shithole. You don't want that. You want to keep everything tight. Now, somebody asked, how long does it take to make your money? I've spent $500. I made $450 my first day, my first grow. So I made my money back from the first investment. It paid for my rack. It paid for my lights. It paid for my trays. It paid for the soil. It paid for the seed. It didn't pay for the labor. So the labor is me. So if I didn't have to pay anybody out, then I get to keep all the money back in the profit. So what I did with that money was I bought my second rack. I didn't start making money because I kept buying more to grow and grow. So I used the money I made from it to grow more. And now I had 2 racks. Now I was doing $2,000 in revenue. I mean, anywhere up to $1,000 a week in revenue. That $1,000 a week at farmers markets. What you want to do is farmers markets are typically either a whole weekend and from like 10 to 2 or 11 to 3. It's only usually 4 hours. But people know about the community farmers markets. So they're coming there to see all the cool things that people have, the artisans, the handcraftings, the homemades, the homegrowns, the farm fresh farm to table. They come for that reason. So they're looking for you. They're already coming to look for you. So when you sign up for that farmers market, you're on their bulletin board. So people know, oh my God, I've heard so much about microgreens. I want to go see what these are about. If your product is crap, you probably don't want to sell it to get more business at first. But I would recommend maybe practicing a couple trays of different varieties and sticking to the easiest ones to grow: broccoli, radish, sunflower, salad mix. It's called spicy salad mix, which is a mixture of kohlrabi, broccoli, arugula, cabbage, and mustard. It's already spread. It's already made for you. You can get your products at. I use the the provider called True Leaf Market, trueleafmarket.com. Now, I get my trays. My trays are a tricky subject. They're the most expensive part of this process, but they're going to be good for life if you get the right ones. If you get the crappy ones, they're going to continuously break, crack, get weaker as you grow on them. They don't last forever. So I get these ones called Bootstrap Farmers. If you get Bootstrap Farmers trays, it's literally $6.99 a tray inside and $6.99 a tray for an outside. That's $12 for one 1020 to grow. And I know that sounds expensive, but I still have them to this day. It's been over a year and change, and they're still perfect condition. I haven't had to worry about throwing any out, losing any. They're good. Like, they're recyclable. Like, you don't have to ever buy those again once you bought them. They're good for life, and they're going to be good to sell them if you ever want to sell the company. They're still valuable. So
you have your trays for life. Would this be? We also have Matt Withers, our own Matt Withers, coming. Is this an investment that would replace your 9-to-5, or is it just good for a side hustle? Could you potentially do that?
Yes, you can replace your 9-to-5. The good thing about having a 9-to-5, Matt Withers. The good thing about having a 9-to-5. Yes, I completely changed. I stopped. Remember, I came from a bedridden position, so I wasn't making anything to making. I was doing. If I showed you my numbers, I did $15,000 in 3 months. My first 3 months in business. So I did 15 grand. I made almost $5,000 a month on microgreens, and I actually have proof of that somewhere in here. But my documents, I was using Square. So I actually took on a course that came with, and it's a very low now. I think it's a couple dollars for the course. But what's his name? Urban Farmer. The Urban Farmer. Not the Urban Farmer. We'll get to it. It's been a while since I became them. So I stopped looking at them. I stopped even following them because I became them. You know what I'm saying? People were calling me. I say me. Yeah, I became them. I became what I watched on YouTube. Those in that bedridden position. I became them. I was a monster at this game. And then this guy David Barker came out of nowhere from Canada, and this guy's doing $30,000 a month right now. He's doing numbers. His operation is very small. It's a little tiny garage warehouse, and it's like a large 2-truck pull-in, garage bay, and he turned it into a awesome setup. And there's another guy in Canada. He's called Living Earth Foods. LivingEarthFoods.com. I forget his name. Seth, maybe something. So, anyways, this guy's doing $890,000 a year in revenue, doing microgreens. And you can get to that point. It's not that hard. You just have to know when to spend, when to grow, and you have to know your cycles. Your cycles, if you could double down your cycles, I wouldn't recommend trying that at first. You have to get really good at what you do first before you can try that. Yeah. But I would recommend taking that one rack setup. Go into a farmer's market, you will make money. And don't get discouraged if you don't, because they're still good in the fridge till next week. You can sell those same micros and try again with the same ones and slow the next grow. So you can put a grow off if you have to and try to sell the same product. It's still good. I mean, the quality is still good in 7 days. So after that, I would not try to sell it.
No, understood on that. It would be a good idea to look into your local farmers markets and get a good target audience then for this before you started. Would not be a bad idea.
So my first mistake I made was I didn't have a backup refrigerator. So I was putting these joints in with my refrigerator, and I didn't have room for my own food. I had so much shit in there. I was like, you know what? This is a bad idea. It's time to get a box fridge. Went and got a box fridge, and all of them from bottom to top. I stacked them all for next week, just as good as the week before. Beautiful product. And chefs don't even care that it's a week old. And honestly, my policy is if it's not fresh cut, I'm not going to sell it to you. What I did was I used the restaurants as my fresh service. I used the health niche because they were just going to blend it in smoothies. They were just cutting it and putting it in their sandwiches, using it as salad instead of tuna. Instead of using lettuce, they put micros on their sandwiches. Instead of using any other leafy green spinach, they use micros. And yes, and they were extremely healthy, and it makes a good meal. I mean, excellent. So the ideal market for this farmers markets. I live in Texas. Okay, I know growers actually in Texas. I think.
Okay, good.
In Houston area. I'm wondering if it'd be a good idea dealing with so much high heat. I know a grower in Texas. He does fairly well, but yes, it's indoors, so you don't have to worry about the outside heat. If it's if you're going in an outdoor garage, then you have to worry about outside heat. You're going to need a internal air conditioner that's going to cool the room. I'd rather the room be cold than hot. I'd rather be cold. They're still going to do good, but they're going to grow slower in the cold, but they don't die like they will in the heat. They're completely going to.
Well, even so, I think you would even say that selling his product, like even getting your product out into the high heat, could you do this with coolers, especially if you live like coolers and maybe a cart?
Yeah, so I went to Walmart and bought these 200 quart coolers, and they hold a lot of product. Depending on what clamshells you use. Now, that's the tricky part too, clamshells. They can be expensive if you don't get them at the right place. You want to locally source for your products. So if you have like an Ace Hardware or an agricultural or a farm stand where like they sell bales of this stuff called, I use soil, guys. I don't like anything but soil. Coco Core is great. But it holds water. It holds water, like it retains water, so it doesn't really evaporate as fast. So your product, if you're watering it every day, you're overwatering your product. You'll know when micros need water, and you're gonna know when they need light because they droop over. If you turn on the light, they literally go like this over a couple minutes, over a couple hours. Like you'll see them standing right back up. The light makes them stand up. The heat. So the plants have a mind of their own, guys. When I say that, they're smart. They're smart plants. I mean, they know when they need something. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what they need by what they do. So if they droop over, they need water. If they're standing up strong and they're turning like yellow, they need water. So once again, they need light. They need light. If they turn yellow, they need light. If you leave them in the dark too long, they will turn yellow. They'll discolor. Now, they start off yellow. They start off at a discoloration, and then they become this fluorescent, bright, strong, succulent plant, and they're amazing, guys, what they do to you. So you in Texas, if you're going in a garage, an outdoor garage like here, and you want to turn that into it, you do need a couple of air conditioners in there. It does run a high electric bill, but you can do I mean, if you want to get really involved, I don't recommend it, but get like solar panels. I don't recommend that to power it. There's other ways, but you get indoor plug-in air conditioners, and you only put them on cycle to turn off when they get to a certain temperature, so they stay consistent with the 68 to 72 degrees.
So yeah, you're gonna have electricity and lighting going. I mean, you're gonna have to fund some what do you call it? actually the things
like
the lights. Sunblasters use 11 like 0.011 cents per like giga hour.
Okay.
We're talking about in 10 hours you spend $1 in electric, bro. I mean, like not 10 hours. In a day.
So you don't have to affect your utility in a huge way.
You don't have to worry about the lights affecting your utility. But the lights, if you get sunblasters, if you get high output lights, it's going to take electric. But these are meant for this purpose. And I highly recommend sunblasters. T something. They'll tell you the ones on the market. Grow Generation is the company you want to go to. I used to buy them off of Amazon for $75 and got the same light from Grow Generation for $35, $40. I didn't realize it until I already bought a shit ton of them. But that I would have saved money at Grow Generation. You would think Amazon would be the place to save money, but it's not at all. Don't buy anything from Amazon. Don't buy anything from Amazon. I don't care if the shipping's free. They're just tacking it into the price of the product. So a bale of soil over here by my local Ace Hardware is about $44. Online, it's $100 for the same bale. So you're getting it on Amazon. You're paying for the weight of the shipping. So if the shipping's free, but they're charging you $100 and it's not free, they're charging you for the shipping. You just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Between you, me, and the fence post, I do like to shop local and help out these local businessmen. You'll be washing each other's hands all day, and then that's how you build really good, strong business connections.
Yeah, guys. I mean, how many show of hands, if anybody, I don't know how to see you, how many show of hands are interested in something like this? Because I can school you along the way. I have no problem. I work from home. If you guys look behind me, I am a music artist too, and we'll get to that another time. That's not for this discussion, but I write music. I am a lyricist. So here's another thing. I ain't never rapped a day in my life. When I came out of that coma and I got out of bed and a beat played, I wrote a song in like an hour, a whole track, and it was fire. I didn't know where it came from, but the song and the lyrics were in my head, and I just started writing them down, line for line, not erasing anything, not scratching any words out. I just started writing, and then I started rapping. So I realized I came out of my coma a rapper. So it's the weirdest thing. When I died, I came back. I was out of my coma. I'm laying in bed. I hear the beat, and I became a rapper. So I write a lot of music. And right behind me, you'll see I have 270 songs on the wall. 270 songs. I started rapping 6 months ago. Started writing 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I wrote almost 300 songs. I have 24 albums of music to drop, and my first album drops. I'll tell you about that later. But that's another. We're gonna do Twisted Radio on September 14th. We're doing a stream.
It's incredible. It's like a rap hip hop dead zone scenario. Christopher Walken movie. He wakes up and can see people's futures, right?
People are telling me. I thought it was just a thing, like a fun thing, but people are telling me I'm incredible. Like I'm incredible. Like it doesn't make any sense how I rap like that, and I never rapped before. I'm not a lyricist, but I was the spelling bee champion as a kid for like 6 years in a row. So I was wondering about that. I was like, I wonder if that vocabulary just came back. You know, with that gift I came back with, if that vocabulary came to surface, because I have a wide net for a vocabulary. I don't know where that came from.
Brains are so reactive and wild. Brains are so crazy. You know, you never know. Just certain things can activate the wiring.
You know, they say that you know how they say that we are wired to only use the small lobe, the frontal lobe of our brain. We don't. We don't use any other part of our brain because we're not trained or understand the concept of how to use it. For whatever reason, we're locked out of that part of our brain, and we only use, I think, the left. We don't use our full. We're not using ourselves to our full potential. But I feel like a part of me was unlocked when it happened to me, because I don't know why, but I see things different than people. I don't look at things the way they are. I look at them like they can be, or like they will be, or like they should be in the future.
You feel like you tap into your subconscious more? Because a lot of those functions, like the amygdala and things we got running, just are programs running to keep us stable and keep everything functioning, pain receptors, and it's crazy.
Hey, Matt, did I answer Matt Withers? Did I answer your question by chance? I didn't want to leave you hanging. Did I answer everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say he says that's better than a ton of investments folks have brought forward over the years to me. Such sounds like a damn good investment. And Kimberly is thanking everyone for coming on. Yeah, everyone's really kind of digging this, especially since I'm going to share this podcast. I want people to know about microgreens. I really try to eat healthy a lot now, and it's kind of a struggle in this day and age.
You guys see my hair here? This was gone before I started eating microgreens. I didn't have hair. I was balding all across here. It was all thin,
and my hair is growing back. I still eat my micros, but yeah, my hair grew all the way back. I don't know if that was it. I can't prove it. I didn't take any data on it. I just changed my diet, and I put it on everything that I eat. So, I mean, I feel great. I kid you not. Like, as a person who's supposed to be dead right now, I feel fantastic. I feel better than I did before I hit. Yeah, I feel better than then. I feel great. Like, I'm fantastic.
Yeah, we're so
great. And
we're so proud of you. You're a very incredible human being, my man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
As far as that being a traumatic expense, I feel like it was a gift as well. I feel like it was a way for me to find. So as a kid, I was always taking my toys apart and putting them back together again. And my parents like, "What's wrong with you? Like, I'm breaking shit." I wasn't breaking it. I just wanted to understand it. I took it apart just so I could understand, how does this fucking walking dinosaur work? How does this thing work? So I had to figure it out. I took the thing completely apart with screwdrivers and everything. Didn't give a shit. Sometimes I didn't get it right, but I figured it out eventually. Like, the head was in the foot, and the foot was on the leg, and the leg was the arm, like Mr. Potato Head. But I figured it out over time, and I realized that I like to engineer. So, being a aquaponic or a hydroponic farm, or indoor grow farm, you're actually an engineer in agriculture. You're an agriculture engineer. It doesn't sound like you are, but you are. You're orchestrating a cycle of life. And it's amazing because these things make people, happy. If I showed you my feed on Facebook, it's ridiculous. These people are so mad at me for not selling them right now. They're pissed. They're pissed off. And they're sad. But like, they loved the product. And they said, when they came to the farmer's market, they're like, I go to Mom's to get my micros. They're like, how do you get yours to look so good? And why are they? So theirs are like $5 for like a small container like this. My containers were like this for $5, and I was selling them, and I'm still making a profit, huge profit, because they were getting theirs from growers that were ripping them off. And then again, the product wasn't fresh. They're selling 2-3 week old products still on the shelf until they had to take it off the shelf for the 3-week expiration. You don't have to worry about having a food growing license in most places in the United States. You don't really have to have that. In Canada, you do. You don't have to have any
license for the United States.
You don't have any license to serve microgreens, because you're not serving a processed food. You're actually serving something as it is off the root. So you're not changing what it is to sell it as what it is. You are, if you put it in a smoothie, that's different, because now you changed what it is. It's now processed. It's in there. Kimberly, thank you for coming, and we're excited to hear you next. She's talking about me.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You're gonna be back on with us Thursday, correct?
Yeah, I'll come every day if you want. I work. Listen, this is what I do. Where I'm sitting right now, I work from here. You guys, I could work and talk to. There's nothing I don't do from this chair. There's nothing. I work from here. I go to college from here. I do everything from here. I'm attending AIU in Texas. They're based out of Texas and Georgia, Atlanta. It's a American Intercontinental University for Business Administration. I figured, if I'm going to keep running all these businesses and I'm going to make all these mistakes and then figure it out the hard way, why don't I just figure out how to do it the right way now and just do it right from here on out? You know what I mean? Why not get the education? And
my man, I was going to say, what is, so we can gradually go into the conclusion of our interview. I want to know what the future of this is for you, which is what you're skating right at into my next question. But what is the future of you, your business, and these microgreens?
So guys, this is major. This is a major game here. I'm moving up. So another thing with this gift, I have the ability to map things out in the way I think that they're going to work to perfection. So I'm going to have, I don't even know how to put this in a nutshell. This is crazy. I created an umbrella of businesses, 7 to be exact. Right. I actually have a company called Panacea Homes. We're panaceahomes.com. I'm a kitchen and bath remodeler. I've been in construction since I was 17, up until I couldn't walk, and then stopped. But I still have a company that does that, and that's been like, thank you, Twisted Truce, and thank you. I have this drive about me. I don't know why I put so much on my plate. I am exhausted, guys. I don't get a lot of rest. I was up last night up until this morning about 11 o'clock, and then I took my nap. That's why Miss Kimberly was calling me and texting me, and I wasn't answering or responding because I was knocked out. I had to take a nap before the show, so I was knocked out, but I couldn't stop what I was doing, because when you're a boss, when you're an owner of a company, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. And one of those things, I told Kim, one of those things is time. And you can't get that back. Time you cannot get back. So you need to use it wisely. Are you guys still here?
I am right here. I had to take my dad has kidney disease real bad, and I have to escort him out of the house back to the thing. That usually happens during the podcast. That's why I let you please keep going. You got to take time and investment.
Yeah, you got to take time, and you got to know that it requires your time and your labor in order for it to grow. And to start a company, I don't care what the business is, you're not going to have any free time. If you do, you're probably not doing something right. You shouldn't. You really, in the beginning of a business, to grow it, I'm talking about, it could be anything, to marketing your company, to promoting it. You have to, in your off hours, you have to be on socials. I'm constantly on my socials, reposting, updating, changing, making new product, new content, new stuff. I'm constantly doing something. That's work. Okay, guys, it's not work. It might be fun, but it's work. It's hours of work, and it's constant. If you don't have the money to market, then you have to manually market yourself. And the way I would recommend with microgreens, you can market for free on Facebook. What you do is you join groups. Every group in every county or township in your area, and they're your local townships. You just look at a map on your area and pick all the towns and cities near you. And as far as you're willing to go with your business, as far as you're willing to travel, now use that and find groups that are specifically for those areas and post the same post in all those rooms every day or every 2 days. And you keep doing that, people will see you. They will notice you. Make sure you have a Google page up. Make sure you have a Google page. Make sure you have a Google search. Make sure you don't have to have a website. I had a website. That website was cool, but it didn't do anything for me. All it did was educate my customers, which was cool too, because I had to answer less questions. But I like to tell you this. Obviously, I'm serious.
Not to be rude, but we're going to have to wrap it up because I'm the only one that can end the live.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand that. Well,
I'm the only one that can end the live.
It's fine. If they have any questions, tell them to save them for the. Yeah, tell them to send it. All right, end the live. Go ahead.
Hey, my phone is going to die. I'm the only one that can end the live.
Don, we love you. Okay. Thank you for coming on. Everybody loves it. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping by. Don, I'll get up with you after.
All right, take care.
Well, I'll see you Thursday.
All right. Yep. If you want to follow up now, you can. I'm here. All right.
Yep. Stay on, Don.
If you have any questions. All right.
Live is going to end. Ashe, everybody.
Guys, thank you for coming. It's been cool. I have so much more to talk about.
You do. We love your energy here. That was one of the comments on there while we're waiting for it to end.
Yeah, I saw that.
We'll end
Unseen Twisted Truths. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. I mean, I love it. I love educating.
Should be ending here. Kimberly's on it. She's probably on it. This looks like she's going to conclude it. Yeah, no, we're going to have you back Thursday. It's going to be great. So much information. Yep. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then Kimberly also does
every week? All the time?
Yep, every week is Tuesday and Thursdays. Yes.
She didn't even tell me that. She didn't even mention that. She did not mention that. I did not catch that unless I missed it. All right. Yeah.
We've been doing that for 2 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always available. I have so much to tell people. I mean, there's a lot, and then I can perform for you guys in the future. But I really I just finished my first album. I got 2 songs to put on TikTok for my pre-release. But it's really cool what I did. I honestly, I'm really good at this, and people really want to hear more. I'm getting involved. I just started this social media marketing for the music recently, and we're still live, aren't we? So I just started.
We are. And feel free.
I just started the social media marketing for the music recently. My YouTube channel is only 2 months old. I am at 900 right now, 900 and something subscribers, which is rare in YouTube that fast when you're not advertising. So I've seen people that have been doing this for 3 years. They got 29 subscribers, and I'm like, what are they doing different? And I'm just putting more time into it. I'm giving it effort. You know what I mean? It takes a little effort. That's all. You have to tend to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting good. My blade's getting sharp from just doing that. So,
repetition.
Guys, if you guys want to go to my channel,
what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
I'm sorry to chime in late. I was backstage. say, Don, your story, man, it's beautiful, exciting. I'm glad to be able to hear what I heard. Kim, I got it. Kim, go ahead, Kim. I just wanted to say a few things to you, man. Like your story, you're here for a reason. Your message and everything.
It's not vibration, and I apologize, but I'm at 4%.
I got you. Don't worry about it, Kim. I got you.
We'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. I'll be here. I don't miss anything. If I say I'm there, I'm there.